Knowing your path is knowing your soul. Defining your path is defining your soul purpose. Welcome to the Define Your Path podcast show. Welcome to the Define Your Path podcast show, where we are all about helping you face your fears, love the skin you're in, and lifting you into a possibility mindset to serve, profit, and sustain in life and business. Hello, faithful. It is my pleasure to be your guide. I am Dr. Virginia LeBlanc-Shazad, known in most circles as DocV. And yes, I have mastered the art of the pivot, earning the moniker, the Pivot Maestro. But the story is not about me today. We'll save that for another day. This show is all about you. Who is this show for? Aspiring and current solopreneurs, business owners, and especially for you parallelpreneurs. Now, what is that? What is a parallelpreneur? Well, that's folks who are working full-time and you're trying to build your business on the side. This is all about feeling your soul being snuffed out, seeking a better way forward, and wanting to live a quality life. My question to you, what are you waiting for? Life is so short, and it's time for you to define your own path into purposed, soul-led business ownership and legacy. It's time to embrace your fears, pivot, and leap into a safe haven like Defining Paths International, where we are called and committed to building your success on a firm foundation. It's time to think without a box, and I'm here to help you with that by exposing you to amazing global thought leaders, change agents, and legacy builders across continents and industries on this show, and providing a platform for their stories of how they've overcome to define their path in life and business. If we can do it, you can do it. At Defining Paths International, we operate in truth, transparency, and love to help you navigate the waters of your life and put you back in business. And the Define Your Path podcast is no different. It all starts with the choice to move into action. Then the mind. Will you be the captain or the crew? Will you be the captain of your fate and master of your soul? Today's spotlight is with Kathryn Malek. Kathryn Malek is a SOLignment breath process and SOLignment embodiment process facilitator, a shaman and author who gives high-performing leaders to their infinite level of who they are, to living a life of liberation, authentically, aligned, deeply empowered, and free to be who they truly are. Kathryn, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Doc V. I'm happy to be here.
We are so happy to have you here, and we look forward to hearing your story of how you've embraced your fears and made them your ally to walk in passion and soul purpose and find the true you. So we love to keep it simple here, Kathryn. We only ask you 2 questions, and then we just follow our flow. So the first question, how have you defined your path? And the second, how do you help others define theirs? So the spotlight is on you.
Thank you. So it's a bit of a story for defining my path. My background actually originally was in the arts. So it was a great training ground for me, playing multiple characters as an actor, writing, directing. I was exposed to so many things. Now, this performing, of course, leads one to gain that stage presence, that confidence. However, behind the show, meaning with me, what was going on behind the scenes was that I would experience anxiety, panic, depression, a lot of fear was coming. So I'm so grateful that you mentioned the word fear. Now, while I was performing, in behind the scenes, I was going to healers and shamans and coaches, and I was also training in it. I was so fascinated by it. I was traveling the world, going to different people to learn and also to heal. What would happen though is every few years, I would say to a healer or a coach, something's not quite right. There is like this fear inside of me. I feel like, well, when a horse has been frightened and it backs away or starts to run, and I felt that inside of me. And what I would hear in response is that it's all in your mind. Don't worry about it. It's all in your mind. Just think differently. You're great. You're great. The first time I was a little perplexed and I thought, okay, I just have to think differently. Well, that didn't work. I was trying to think my way through it. And while I could navigate it a little bit, the same fears were coming up. So I'd go for another couple years, and then I would say it again to someone else. There's something's going on. It doesn't feel quite right. I'm missing something. It's all in your mind. Again, and this went on for quite a few years. The important part here is that I didn't give up on questioning.
Yes.
I knew innately something is missing. Something is missing is what I felt inside. It's like there's a puzzle and there's a piece or two that I need to find, but I don't know where they are. Now, what happened was eventually I did meet someone who I shared my story to. And right away, I was affirmed with, you're right. It's not in your mind. It's in your body. That changed everything. First of all, the belief, and for me to take that in and understand that someone could see me and hear me and knew what I was saying. It was powerful. So from there, it was all about getting into the body. One of the first things, my nervous system was so dysregulated. Now, as a child, my mother had passed away when I was a child, and my father remarried in good faith, hoping to find someone who would be his partner and take care of his children and love them like he did. It didn't quite go that way. Instead, I remember being at school after that marriage and living in that house. If a friend came up to greet me and they tried to surprise me from behind, I remember jumping almost 10 feet in the air.
Wow.
My nervous system. I was so on edge as a teenager. And it wasn't just, well, okay, that's the way I am. No, my nervous system was so dysregulated. I was so on guard, so hyper vigilant. It was fear. It was growing up not feeling safe in the body. So even then I knew there was something that wasn't quite right, but I didn't know what to do. So when I found the person who was able to tell me, it's your nervous system, it's your subconscious, it's going into the body, that's what changed everything. So regulating the nervous system. So I wasn't in fight or flight anymore, nor was I going into freeze. Now, I was also someone who was hyper independent, which is actually a wonderful thing as an entrepreneur. I would get things done. I was known for getting things done. You could rely on me. Anything you gave to me, I would take care of it. However, this was my trauma response. I operated in the world like this because of trauma. So while it was wonderful on one hand, on the other hand, it's not exactly the best way to be living my life. So regulating the nervous system. So I wasn't in fight or flight, or I wasn't going into freeze, because when I was living in fight or flight in a hyper mode and getting things done, I would burn out. And then I would drop into an exhaustion and overwhelm. So going between the two states like that is not in balance.
Right.
So going, and it was the breath process, really, this alignment breath process, to gently go into my body, to find safety in my body. So my body could find a deep relaxation that I had never experienced before, going into a deep theta state. And I had been doing yoga. I would do yoga 5 times a week. And at the end, doing Shavasana, I always felt that I was relaxed. But compared to this alignment breath process and that deep state, I didn't know what was relaxed was until I went to that deeper place. The more I experienced that, the more my body understood it, the more I understood to be in balance. And then, while calming the nervous system, balancing the nervous system, my subconscious patterns and beliefs were now able to start coming up. I always feel like the subconscious is like having guard dogs, that the subconscious wants to keep you safe. So let's repress that. Let's not bring that up. But the issue is we're operating 5% from our conscious mind, 95% from the subconscious. As you know, I can see you nodding, you know this. And so imagine connecting that 95 to the 5% and being 100%. So when one is able to connect into the subconscious, the gifts, the messages, the intuition is magnified, as well as any of the subconscious patterns and beliefs that are blocking or clogging up one's life. They can be seen, processed, healed, and released.
Yes.
And that is powerful. Because when we look at subconscious beliefs, an example might be, it's not safe to be seen and heard. Imagine if someone has a career, maybe they're in sales, maybe it's a singer or a musician. They'll be able to do what they're doing to a point. And it's like being pulled back, because that subconscious belief will show up often. It's not safe to be seen and heard. And even in regular life, you won't speak up in relationships. You won't ask for things. It's not safe to be seen and heard. It's better to stay back. So it's such a controlling, invisible thing that can take over one's life. And it's sad to think if one doesn't know that it's actually there, because it's invisible, of course, living your life and being pulled back all the time. It becomes frustrating. One starts to believe there's something wrong with themselves, that they're not good enough, they're not worthy. It goes down the rabbit hole, the spiral of complete disbelief in oneself, when really it's not the person per se. It's that subconscious belief, that pattern that is holding them.
Wow. Kathryn, I don't even know where to start here. There's so much there. And I'm literally over here just getting goosebumps and nodding and agreeing. And where were you 3 decades ago in my life? I can relate. And I don't think we've ever talked about this, but I also have a background in the performing arts. So I could relate with everything you were saying and sharing. And, most people are not conscious of these things happening, why they can't get past a certain or get to a certain goal or over a certain hurdle or, conquer certain challenges in life, or why they continue to run, or, why they continue to be so combative. This is so juicy. So let's talk about how you help, because you shared your story, of how you were having these issues and no one wanted to listen. And this, so many of us, we tend to go through this where people just blow us off, right? They don't have the time, or they don't think it's serious, or whatever, they think you're crying wolf, whatever the case may be. How do you help others define their path? And I assume it has something to do with having to get them through and over these hurdles. Can you talk a little bit more about that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So, when I am guiding and working with other beings, right away, it's working with the body. The body in connecting that to the mind. It's not avoiding the mind.
Mm,
For many of us, we celebrate the mind, the thinking. That's always been honored. And when one can connect deeply into the body, the wisdom,
yes.
human being has their own wisdom. It's like having the key to go inside and you unlock everything. It's
Mm-hmm.
all there, but
Yeah,
but you're cut off from it,
yeah.
disconnected from it. So,
Unlocking the soul.
and
Yeah.
so by doing the breath process, and this I should say is not breath work. There
Okay.
is standard breath work. I had tried breath work. Um, and while I experienced a catharsis, I would cry and a release. Well, I often could cry in my life and feel that release, but that doesn't move me anywhere. The
Mm-hmm.
breath process, the SOLignment breath process is in many stages to bring one to that place where they're connecting to their wisdom, their intuition. Often someone will have a complete download after a SOLignment breath process session where they'll know everything about what they're meant to do. They have ideas and almost like a business plan. So
Yeah.
much will come through in a session. It's magical. It's very profound. And it's interesting because once someone has that, what happens is it's almost like the boundaries come up because they are so tuned into their soul purpose, their mission.
Mm-hmm.
We come down to earth and we know our mission, and then we get socialized and we get
Yes. Yeah.
separated from our
Mm-hmm.
mission.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is coming home to you and to your mission. And when you are reconnected in that way, you will not get distracted at all. You will be so tuned in that you will go forward on your path, and you won't be in a place where you're questioning anymore. There won't be the doubt. There will be a knowingness, an assuredness that this is exactly what you're meant to do. And the incredible feeling of that is out of this world. And then releasing some of the imprints, the blocks, let's say, the patterns, the behaviors, uncovering that, they will come up and present to you. And it's incredible when someone connects to what it is that has been hidden from them, it's almost like you've been wrapped in ropes and it's holding you back. And it's like
Yes.
these ropes all of a sudden disintegrate and you feel this freedom. And to know what it is, usually it comes out in a phrase. Whatever the pattern, the behavior, and it's a belief, but it's not about hearing the belief in your mind, it's the body and the mind, because one can change that belief in the mind. Let's rephrase it, let's flip that. But if it's not understood in the body, it's not going to be very powerful at all. It's going to be
Yeah.
like a 2%. That's not going to do it. So when this comes up and one can witness for themselves, because by working with me, it's not me telling you, oh, this is what it is. Now, it's not that I can't see it sometimes, but when it comes up from you and I can mirror with you and help you through it, that is powerful. You will realize the power that you have in you. So this is the journey that I went through, that many of my clients have gone through, And it's completely changed their lives. Not only changed their lives, their belief in themselves, their power, but it changes the lives of those around them, because there is this difference when we change and our energy change. The others around us will sense it. They may not, some will say it, but some might not say anything. Relationships change. I've had clients who've had maybe challenging relationships with adult children, and now they are closer than ever. The doorway has opened. Whatever has healed in the one being is healing in the family line.
Wow. You're breaking generational curses or generational challenges or dysfunction.
Ancestral.
Wow. Ancestral, yes, yes. Ancestral. Oh my goodness, this is so powerful because people tend to, and I think socially, culturally, we tend to talk more about mindset, particularly in coaching and what have you. But I love the soul healing and the soul-led movement that's all about understanding and unifying the three in one. You know, the mind, body, soul, it is one. And so can you talk about, well, you shared a little bit of how it completely changed how you embraced your business and what you do and how it's changing lives. Just that intersection, you know, a lot of people try to set their measures of success and they're trying to reach for it in business, but they keep getting hung up someplace. Would you say that there's definitely a connection to the mind, body, soul, and there's a misalignment there?
1,000,000%.
Mm.
One will do, an entrepreneur, anyone in business, they will look for another strategy, another outside way of doing something, because it's like, oh, my funnel's not working. Oh, my website. They're going to look on the outside. And
Mm-hmm.
then that thing gets solved, and oh, it didn't change. Whatever's happening hasn't changed. So then they'll change another thing, another thing. What that leads to is becoming frustrated. And for some, they'll want to quit.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference between knowing that there is a pivot for one and your heart's being pulled in a different direction. That's one thing. But if one is really like almost tuned into their path, there's just something that just needs to shift,
Yes.
then they might actually either quit or really be living their life with such a heavy heart and so much effort and challenge instead of living from a place of ease. When one is tuned in, when you're connected to your soul purpose and you're living in such a peaceful, regulated way, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to be receiving messages and insights and intuitions, and you're going to be in such a flow state. You know,
Constant. Yeah.
flow state, where one is just flowing through,
Mm-hmm.
navigating. Nothing really becomes a huge challenge, because anytime there is perhaps a challenge, it will transform into something else even better.
Yes. Oh, that is so good. Oh my goodness. That is so powerful. Following your flow. You know, if more of us learn how to just or open ourselves up to healing, right? And embracing those fears, going through the healing process, reconciling those hurts, hangups, habits, and walking in our newness, our renaissance, how much better would life be? How different would the world be? And yeah, it's so powerful. So, so powerful. Wow, talk about walking in your soul purpose, Kathryn. I'm trying to keep my mouth shut over here because I could be resonating constantly as your corner woman because you are over here like, yeah, like literally touching on and hitting on all of the things that I've walked through recently, and that we build our movement on. So thank you so much for sharing, and bringing all of this to the forefront. Do you have any other thoughts about anything else you feel is important for our listeners to know
What
or
I,
to think about? Mhm.
yeah, what I feel is important to know sometimes when beings think of healing, and maybe this is something that's put out in social media or whatever thoughts are coming in about this, it can be seen as very difficult, hard, scary. Yeah, you're nodding, so maybe you've heard this too, or people will think that is the case. I can honestly say this SOLignment breath process, the embodiment work that I do, even the shamanic healing, it is easeful, powerful, and it's quick.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
it's so for anyone who is maybe feeling a little bit of fear because maybe they haven't experienced anything like this before and they're not sure. I also seem to know that sometimes when we have fear, fear is excitement. And
Mm.
sometimes it's your inner knowing going, yes, I want to do this.
I love that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so for anyone who, hasn't experienced this, and this is a lot that I've shared right now, it is a lot to take in. So you might want to watch this again. But
Yeah.
know that this is powerful and will change your life times a million.
So good. So good. Accessing our spiritual being, our soul, and learning how to free that then frees up the rest of us, allows us to find the true you. I love it. I love it. Kathryn, look, I could continue to talk to you, and oh my goodness, this show needs to be longer. This is amazing. Thank you so, so much for being our spotlight today.
Mm.
So, audience, I want you to be sure to follow Kathryn on social media. Please tell our audience how to connect with you. If you want to mention any of your programs or your website?
Absolutely. So first, to find me on social media, you could go to my website, www.kathrynmalek.com. You could also find me on Facebook. You can find me under my name. You could also find my Facebook group, High Performing Leaders. You could also find me on Instagram, Kathryn Malek, or High Performing Leaders. You could find me on LinkedIn as well. So there's multiple places that you
Mm,
could find me. Easy enough to get to me. And
absolutely.
for programs, I work with individuals, high performing leaders, one on one privately in a 6-month program. So, where you're experiencing the SOLignment breath process, SOLignment embodiment process, and shamanic healing. I also work in groups. We do small groups of the breath process as well. I have a program called Synergy because my own company is called Serene Soul Synergy. So Synergy is a 5-day immersion where I work in person with the individual for 5 days doing breath, embodiment, healing. And that you walk away with a whole new life happening.
Sounds like it. Oh my goodness, absolutely amazing. Folks, you'll be able to read Kathryn's full bio, her connect with her via the links on the Define Your Path podcast platforms, including our YouTube channel, which is at Defining Paths Online. I tell you, I can't thank you enough, Kathryn, for being here. Absolutely amazing, amazing. There are 100 questions swirling in my mind right now, so we'll definitely have to have you back. So promise me right here on air that you will come back.
I promise you, I will be back for sure. So much
Wonderful.
more to share, and I would love to hear all your questions.
Awesome, awesome. So, actually, we'll have to invite you over to Candid Conversations. We'll do that as well, where we have plenty of time, a full hour to unpack this. So, yes, I just got that download. See, I'm following my conscious intuition. So, yeah.
Brilliant, right?
Yes, thank you. Again, folks, be sure to visit our virtual home at definingpaths.online to see what we are up to and follow us on our social media platforms. I'd like to thank my amazing dream team for their unwavering support and dedication to bringing you quality, life-giving, inspiring, and life-changing conversations just like this one with Kathryn Malek. Once again, I'm DocV, the Pivot Maestro, and your corner woman. Please like, follow, subscribe, do all those good things, and set notifications to stay plugged in. Until next time, be true to you and define your path in mind, body, soul, and business. We'll see you on our next episode.